Welcome to Enchanted Lore. In today's video, we're going to continue the discussion of ways and things that GMs should not do that would negatively impact their gaming sessions. As I mentioned before, in the near future, we will have videos focusing on the positive side of things and tips and tricks for specific use cases. So anyway, let's get to it.
As a recap of the previous video, we covered the following topics on how GMs could ruin their game sessions. These topics include RP sessions as a soapbox, hogging the spotlight, poorly handling sensitive topics, not being ready, and not being adaptive. As you've probably guessed, this video is aimed to help newer GMs and give them things to think about. But you, experienced GMs, I have a task for you. Share your wisdom in the comments below. What are some other ways that new GMs should be careful so as to not to ruin their games? Now for the main video.
Next topic that we want to talk about is being vindictive, right? So as a GM, you should not go and take your frustration, your bad day, whatever, against the players. Another thing is with along the lines of being vindictive is if the players kind of ruin your plans, or maybe they killed your favorite evil NPC and your evil NPC didn't manage to get away and they killed him before he got away. Don't take your frustration out on the players. You adapt to that situation and you play by what is fitting for the story, for the rules and stuff like that. But do not go and think that because you are the GM, you are the god of the game and stuff like that. You are part of this teamwork social game, right? Another thing is that this one I think is actually kind of important is thinking that you have to have a high production situation and game, kind of like Critical Role. And you don't. It is, you can play Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder in the most simplest of way, which is using some paper and a pencil and imagination and some dice, right? Now, granted, there are certain things with today's day and age that makes things a little bit nicer, right? Using a system like Roll20, where then you can show your characters, you can pop up, the NPCs and what they look like. You can have maps, that way people can see and properly map their movements and stuff like that, instead of just using the theater of the mind. The other thing is, if you want to escalate it and improve that even more, is you have the option of even having background music and stuff like that, which kind of helps sometimes with the theme and the mood. Like if you're doing something that's kind of spooky or just dramatic as you're going to fight the big boss. But once again, these are not things that are not required of you. These are nice things, but it's not necessary to have fun. And you should remember that, and each one of these things does take time to do. Another thing is that don't have favorites. Try to be fair, right? So sure, you might see that a certain player might be a really good RPer, right? They've had years of experience and they just do a good job with doing the characters' descriptions and emotions and actions and everything like that. But you shouldn't play favorites, give everybody an opportunity to shine, don't, and also it kind of leans into the earlier thing with being fair and not being vindictive. If you see a character that does something wrong in character, there should be in-character consequences. Icy actions in character have in-character consequences and stuff like that. So even if it's your favorite player, you shouldn't just kind of gloss over these things. It kind of ruins the game. Another important thing is being mindful of time. So, show up on time, be ready. Being able to wrap up the game session at the appropriate time. If you guys set aside 3 hours and you see that, hey, we only got about 30 minutes left, think about wrapping up the game session and stuff. Be mindful of that. The other suggestion we have, which kind of frustrates players, is giving too much information, just doing these info dumps, right? And it's like, it's better if you space it out and give tidbits throughout the world. Sometimes it's necessary, but don't do it all the time, because then a character is just going to sit there. The players are just going to sit there, twiddling their thumbs and stuff like that. So remember, this is a social game, and so you have to give and take. So I'd like to see if there's any other situations that you guys have or seen where maybe some tips of negative actions that you have seen with GMs. So leave those comments down below. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.